Tell him guard up. I just crossed another. Over, tell him guard up. Bands on his arm truck. I just crossed another nigga over, tell him guard up. Bands on the Donald Trump. Testing, 323, 323. Yo, what's the word, my brother? Let's cross another nigga over, tell him guard up. On my broke glasses. Broke glasses is the best. I ain't gonna back to you. Damn, it's low key. Turn out the motherfucking heat. Let's cross another nigga over, tell him guard up. Chopping time when we gone, so. I just crossed another nigga over, tell him guard up. What's the word, my brother? What's the word with it? I just crossed another nigga over, tell him guard up. Damn, this shit hitting. I'm smoking on that platinum lemon cherry gelato. Man, this shit smoking. If I do say so myself on game. Say if I do say so myself. What y'all niggas be smoking on in the morning? What strain y'all be smoking on? Did y'all even flame up this morning? That's the real question, bro. Trez leash. What's it? Tracy, I don't even know what that be. I ain't gonna back to you.
Disclaimer. The purpose of this video is an educational documentary providing authoritative news reporting on historic events in a journalistic context. All of the opinions in this video are mine alone. Everything in this video has been taken from publicly available sources, and any footage used is covered under the doctrine of fair use. We have made every effort to ensure the accuracy of our sources, but I am not responsible for content that third parties publish. Content warning. This video contains themes of violence, death, and gang activity, but every effort has been made to censor this video in accordance with YouTube's advertiser and community guidelines. This video features no violence on screen, no explicit language, and no hateful language. If you want to see extended versions of my videos with much more detail, please visit patreon.com/TraplawRoss, where you can watch the director's cut for just $2. But if you're not interested in that, hit the subscribe button and get ready to hear one of the craziest stories ever told.
Talking about that. I know you were saying shit. Hey, fuck is y'all problem, bro? Get the fuck up, go. Get the fuck out of my face, gang. Okay. Is Von off 1700 really like that, or he just a goofy with glasses trying to act like a drill rapper? That's what the world is trying to figure out. And today, Trap Reezy is gonna give us an answer to see if he really like that or not.
From the early 2010s to now, there are few cities that are as talked about as Chicago when it comes to gangster rap. Whether it's the early days of Chief Keef creating street bangers whilst on house arrest, popularizing the phenomenon of drill music, the hyper-realistic modern-day rendition of gangster rap, which gave us the present-day king of Chicago drill, Lil Durk, whose auto-tune pain music about life in the streets landed him in the studio of the biggest names in the entire rap game. Chicago drill is arguably on top when it comes to the various subgenres of hip-hop. This hyper-violent, hyper-real evolution of gangster rap is here to stay, and it's truly changed the game when it comes to the junction between art and true crime. In the midst of all of this hype, fans of Chicago drill culture always seem to pick a new target to be infatuated by, mainly on the basis of which gangster rapper really backs up their talk on the microphone.
Being infatuated about a drill rapper is like pretty diabolical, if I say so myself.
With real drills in the streets. And in recent years, there's been endless online debates about exactly which rappers are real killers like they say, or just imposters building killer personas to gain popularity. With a lot of this debate taking place specifically in r/Chiracology, the Reddit community keeping up with the latest in Chicago street politics and drill music. These days, drill music fans are less interested.
Nah, brother, you trying to look like Von off 1700? I need to go get my ski mask too for the video then.
In a person's musical talent or output, and much more interested in debating the truth behind a rapper's savage persona, whether or not they can be linked to any crazy events or real-life murders. Figures like King Von, or rap's first serial killer as I called him in my infamous documentary, allegedly caught 7 bodies and bragged about them to the world in songs with millions of views. Then there's others like Taekwon World Lil Tay, who would be more active on social media than in the recording booth, regularly taking to Instagram Live to stalk enemy blocks and ask for shootouts.
Yeah, we about to do with the out any place he get left with his mouth. Damn! Look, head tow truck. Yeah, I still got my stick out.
Hey, shut the fuck up, man.
How about they tweeting? Yeah, we on the block. Pull up, they get it.
Then you got people like 800 Lil Fats, a prolific self-snitcher who at one point was actively trying to arrange shootouts with other trolls, and one of the people who was involved in one of the biggest crash-outs in recent Chicago history, robbing an armored truck and leaving numerous people dead in a sloppy bank job that his crew had no chance of getting away with.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
More recently, there's Bloodhound Lil Jeff, who openly proclaimed to have as many as 10 bodies, and was recently gunned down on camera whilst literally trying to kill another person. But sadly, these figures often have a tragic ending to their story, whether it be life in prison or worse, even death. Hence, year after year, like some sort of twisted reality show, with the latest drill rapper and real killer losing their life, the community is forced to pick a new rapper to bring to the forefront of their discussions. And right now, one of the most buzzing names when it comes to the Chicago drill scene is a young rapper by the name of Von 1700. A shiesty-wearing, spectacle-rocking, Chirac driller who wants you to believe that he's the realest thing to come out of Chicago since Von. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into Von off 1700, taking a closer look at his music, his interviews.
I ain't gonna bap to you. His look play a big part on why he be going so viral. Real deal, because who not finna like listen to a person? Like if you see him talking about sliding on the ops, you go check it out just because you see him got glad. He look goofy. And when the goofy talking about street stuff, we gonna listen. Whether we gonna talk stuff about him after or say, oh yeah, he valid. But we will listen just because the look, you feel me? He look goofy. And that goofy stuff gonna get you some views.
The stories around him, including one particular incident that has Chiracology in a frenzy.
Outside the Shell gas station, where the 31-year-old was killed a few days ago. Surveillance video from several different angles captures Benoit's brazen killers getting out of their black Dodge Durango and opening fire.
And work out once and for all whether Von off 1700 is a real demon or just a wannabe gangster rapper trying to play the killer.
Von off 1700.
Von off 1700, real name Davon Meeks, is a 21-year-old rapper from Chicago, born in April 2003.
And your birthday while you're at it, the month and the day perhaps. April 22nd, my coming up.
He grew up in West Chicago, or as locals refer to it, out west.
So, let the people know where you're from. You're from out west, right?
Yeah, I'm off my 5 Laramie.
So would that be considered like?
Yeah, I ain't gonna bap to you. You know someone not from, if someone from Chicago, they ain't gonna say the west side, bro. You gonna say out west. I don't even think old folks say the west side. Cause my grandma say out west. And that's my grandma, so I think everybody say out west.
Like L Block?
Fact, yeah. L Block, Talks Gang, SBG, Holly Grove, Social Gang, TTG, TT Gang, all the same.
An area often considered to be the most
we
dangerous
understand.
part of Chicago, even more so than the infamous gang-infested South Side. Out West is notorious for areas like West Garfield Park, which was labeled as Chicago's most dangerous neighborhood and was covered extensively on this channel. But more specifically, Von-Off 1700 is from North Austin, which is around 10 miles west or a 20-minute drive from the luxurious
I'm from
downtown
over east.
Chicago. Also about 30 minutes away from Parkway Gardens, aka O Block, arguably the South Side's most notorious block. And as can be seen from the Chicago
But why do you gotta talk about why do every video gotta be compared to O Block? Real deal, bro. Like, I don't ever think Von-Off 1700 and them don't got nothing to do with O Block. Why do you gotta compare everything to O Block, gang? Real deal.
gang maps, the set that Von-Off 1700 hails from, called Toss Gang, is deeply entrenched in gang territory, with this block literally being surrounded by numerous other hostile gang sets. And naturally, the themes of gang life and violence are what fuels Von-Off 1700's raps, which make him one of the hottest rappers.
Bro, them pants is like leggings,
And while
bro.
there's
He
no doubt that Von
bogus.
has a lot of ability when it comes to rapping, what gets him a lot of attention, aside from his
Bro,
wild
these
antics,
pants
is
is
his very
bogus.
unique look. Fans in the Chiracology subreddit regularly mock
He
Von-Off
said that's the
1700
block that
for his
made him
glasses, which
famous.
make him look like a bit more of a member of the actual subreddit than an actual gangbanger. Now, I personally think his glasses look super cool and pretty gangster. However, don't let the specs fool you. Von-Off 1700 does in fact have a track record of arrests, with a gallery of his mugshots being shared to Reddit, possibly indicating he really is indeed a problem in these streets. With one mugshot even showing Von with facial injuries to his lip, with one person even commenting on one of Von's videos saying that he can vouch.
I mean, I ain't gonna bap to you. Lots of people be getting locked up and they still don't be active. Bro, getting locked up don't mean you active in the streets, bro. It just mean you be getting locked up. I ain't gonna bap to you unless you getting locked up for like bodies and all that stuff. Because real deal, if you from the hood 9 times out of 10, bro, you gonna go to jail at one point in your life, bro. And you haven't caught no bodies or nothing. It's just you gonna go to jail. Especially if you like trapping or something, bro. You gonna end up in jail.
That Von is really about it and that he shot at that commenter personally in 2022. But despite his innocent looks, Von-Off 1700 is clearly nothing to be played with. He allegedly hopped off the porch and got very active in the streets at a young age. In this picture, he barely looks 13, he's already clutching a pistol like a natural. With people pointing out in the comments in the pic, his finger is on the trigger and the cameraman was clearly risking their life just to snap this one. Now, sometime around this age, Von-Off 1700 would join a gang set called Toss Gang, which goes by several other names such as L Block, Sneaky Gang, and SBG.
So would that be considered like L Block?
Fact, yeah. L Block, Talks Gang, SBG, Holly Grove, Social Gang, TTG, TT Gang, all the same.
This gang is based around several streets in North Austin, named North Laramie Avenue, LeClaire Avenue, and North Lawler Avenue. And as Von-Off 1700 describes it, Toss Gang is all the same strip throughout North Avenue. But the gang is spread between 1400 to 1700 Street, hence Von's name, as he hails from 1700.
So like, how is the setup like? Is it like all within the same area? Or?
Yeah, it's all the same strip. All North Avenue was just the 1400 side, the 1500 side, the 1600 side, and the 1700 side. So it's just all congested into one. We all the same. All our blocks are with L. We just got different numbers. So it'll be 1400 North da 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 da, 1500 North da 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 da, 1600 North da 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 da, 1700 North da 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 da. But we all the same, just all different blocks.
Oh, so that's why your name Von-Off 1700, because you are.
I'm on 1700, fact.
Now, not long after he started gangbanging, Von actually...
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, come on now, bro. That's, duh. Why else would his name be Von-Off 1700, bro? That's the only reason I thought he had the 1700.
He moved to Atlanta when he was around 14 years old, as he explains himself that his mum started making more money.
He said
and
the
moved
shiesty
family
make
out
him
of
look more
Chicago
like a
so they could have
turtle.
a better life.
Speaking of your OG and possibly
my mama.
more, want to dive a little bit deeper with your upbringing here. Now, for those in the audience, getting to know you for the very first time, care to share where you were born?
I was born in Chicago.
And care to share where you were raised as well?
I was raised in Chicago.
And still reside in Chicago today?
No.
What age were you when you officially left Chicago?
I was like 14, 15, 13, 14 to 15 when I don't remember.
And care to share your current age at this point?
20.
And your birthday while you're at it, the month and the day perhaps?
April 22nd, my coming up.
Now, what was the reason for moving out of Chicago at that time in your life?
I don't even know. I think my OG just wanted to move. She was getting some bread and she had a lot of money and she just wanted to move. So we moved.
But Von never lost his ties to Tosgang.
But people gotta understand that stuff too. Lots of people be so delusional and fried in the head, bro. They be like, bro, your mama, you didn't live in the hood all your life. Bro, you expect people to be broke their whole life? Some people family be broke their entire life. Then they gotta be in the hood. Some people family end up, you know, getting a little bit of money on. My family end up getting some money on and stuff around my junior year. You feel me? So I didn't really get to enjoy it like that, like my brothers and sisters do. Because they still with them right now.
Gang in the streets, and he was constantly coming back to the city of Chicago.
After 2 years, I went back. Like a year, I went back.
Okay, so at 14, you moved to Atlanta, and then 2 years after that, back to Chicago. And then back to Atlanta again?
Yeah. No.
Now, this has caused many Redditors to question these claims, as traveling back to Chicago from a better life in Atlanta just to gangbang seems like an odd and kind of pointless thing to do. And the fact that Von reps his set so hard.
Nah, I ain't gonna bow to you now. That is like kind of like goofy. That's goofy behavior for sure. If you got the opportunity to not be around that stuff and you going out there to gangbang, bro, that's kind of crazy to me, bro. I feel like if you're gonna do it, you just need to stay out there. But going back and forth, bro, like, why is you going back and forth just to gangbang, bro? And I know he probably not going back and forth just to gangbang. He going back and forth to see his peoples. And since his people's gangbanger, then he's gonna be gangbanging too. You feel me?
Hard and had been rapping about the streets of Chicago whilst he was living in the safety of Atlanta is something he would regularly be mocked for on Reddit. But despite how some Redditors would feel, that sentiment is clearly not felt amongst Toss gang members, as Von is apparently respected and comfortable in his hood. It's clear from the Live with Barber Hood vlog that Toss gang and their members indeed have a lot of respect for Von. At one point, Von off 1700 is posted on his friend's block, surrounded by masked up goons who all appear to have his back.
Bro, you taking us? Hey, bro, you coming to the 7th block too? Where you from, man?
My block, this phone number block. Phone number block over there. My block all the way across the street over there. So we had to cross the street.
So now you know where Von comes from and exactly what 1700 is, let's take a closer look at the Toss gang crew so that we can better get an understanding of what Von has actually gotten himself into at a street level. Von off 1700 reps a street crew called Toss Gang, and this set is currently one of the most hated and notorious sets from out west in Chicago. Toss Gang, or TG, and the younger generation of a gang called L Block.
You can go all the way down, all the way across the park. And like this when I was, and I was keeping the buck with you. I was keeping the buck with you. I was park down there, but keep running. Nobody ever play with us.
I ain't gonna back to you, bro. You gotta take that with a grain of salt because everybody say they run the stuff. Everybody say, hey, look, you can watch a video about they ops. They ops gonna be like, yeah, we run this. So it's like, if you don't know them, don't take it 100% for sure because that's how people be getting messed up. People be thinking, oh yeah, they said we good inside the hood. Did they ops say y'all good inside the hood? You feel me? That's what you need to ask if y'all good inside the hood.
L Block's lineage is originally the Four Corner Hustlers crew, a gang which is much more common in the west of Chicago. Now, this gang alliance was formed around the 1960s in the West Garfield Park neighborhood. So Toss Gang's history is kind of different from the usual Black Disciple or Gangster Disciple lineage of more popular gang sets like the O Block or STL EBT. In fact, the Four Corner Hustlers was formed as an enemy of the prominent Gangster Disciples way back when they established themselves in the West Garfield neighborhood. To this day, there are over 80 sets that were originally formed out of the OG Four Corner Hustlers gang. But these days, the lineage of a gang is much less important than it was back then. And now, many of these sets claim...
Yeah, out west, it's like foes and vice lords. It's lots of foes, vice lords out there and all that. Of course, it's, you know, BDs and all that stuff too. You know, foes and stuff.
To be EBK or everybody killers, meaning they have internal conflicts with and are willing to fight and kill members from gangs that rep the same faction as themselves. Therefore, just because Toss Gang were originally Four Corner Hustlers doesn't mean that they'd avoid beefing with other Four Corner Hustlers too.
Gang, y'all, like, bro, real deal, bro. At this point, everybody EBK. everybody EBK in Chicago. There's no point in even saying that anymore, bro. And EBK don't mean like, oh yeah, they into it with any and everybody, bro. They just beef with anyone that got beef with them on gang, but everybody really EBK now, bro. Real deal.
An example of this is Tosgang's beef with Black Mob, another crew that were born out of the
Talking
original
about
four
Bloodhound
gangs. Anyway,
do you
naturally,
mean,
as an
gang?
EBK crew, Tosgang are involved in multiple deadly feuds with nearby blocks. Their most prominent beef is with Same Gang and Black Mob, and in typical Chicago fashion, Same Gang is quite literally 1 block west from Tosgang, and Black Mob 1 block south.
Hey,
It puts these rivals
shut the
in
fuck
dangerous
up,
and
gang.
deadly proximity to each other. But this isn't all of Tosgang's beef, as Von would go on to explain. Because of gangs clicking up, Tosgang are pretty much into it with most of West Chicago.
What got it like this? Like, how did it get to the point where it's like y'all into it the whole West Side?
Cause be dying and clicking up. My dead homie was just losing and clicking up. Like these from all the way from the North Lawndale community clicking up with the Austin community. Like how's y'all doing this type of shit? Be clicking up. That's it. A lot of clicked up. All our ops clicked up. So you want to be with Austin
in Mississippi.
So bro, we basically into it the whole West Side.
Which is the reason why Tosgang are often repping the title Most Hated, and Vonoff 1700 himself never holding back from dissing his ops, like in this Instagram live where he says outright that Tosgang is killing Same Gang.
One of the producers locked in with the ops. He say, man, yeah, don't be on that. I say, man, what he is, he Same Gang, tell him we killing him. Oh my God. I say, you saying? I say, we killing you.
Like most beef out west, a lot of Tosgang's beef has been going on for over a decade, and they inherited beef from older members of L Block. This can be seen particularly from a Facebook post by a Black Mob OG who was telling Von that he was a toddler when the beef kicked off. The OG even claims that the war now has died down and questioned Von's gangster, claiming none of his so-called ops even know who he is. But
dang, Merchant, I ain't gonna back to you, bro. Unc probably don't even know what he talking about for real, bro. Unc them talking about the beef down with your generation, gang. There's a whole nother generation beefing over some stuff that they don't even know why the beef started. They just beefing because they supposed to beef with them.
regardless of Von's street credentials, Tosgang are certainly knees-deep in a deadly war. In his No Jumper interview, Vonoff 1700 was asked about his opinion on the Pushing Peace movement recently made popular by FYB J Main and Tay Savage, and without hesitation, Vonoff 1700 would claim that he would never make a truce with his ops, as he has lost actual family.
Yo, what's the word, Louis?
How you feel about J Main though, like with the Pushing Peace thing? He had to like link with Tay Savage to make that happen, so like kind of two people that are from opposing sides.
It's crazy when I seen that. It was some weird.
You could never imagine yourself doing that.
I'll never do no like that.
Really?
Hell no.
You just.
But honestly, bro, let's be real now. Tay Savage and J Main don't got no real beef with each other for real. I'm not even going back to you. They don't really got no real beef with each other to really be like, oh yeah, bro. And I ain't going back to you. I haven't seen Tay Savage link up with any of his main ops. Real deal. All the people that he really into it with, I ain't see Tay Savage really link up with him yet.
Anti-peace in general? Or?
No, just not with no I'm into it. Hell no.
Because hate the ops so bad, we won't even link up with them and push peace in the afterlife.
Oh, bro, no. I'm great on that. Like, that's the they got going on. Like, I ain't knocking them for doing that. Like, I actually, like, salute them for doing that to try to put a better image out there for people, but not me, not the kid with the glasses.
It's just too serious.
Yeah, I'm kid with the glasses. Like, it's different for me because I lost family. So a lot of people lost friends and shit. I lost family. And then, so it's just like, it's different.
And crazily, he goes even further, saying whenever...
Dang, you think they ain't lose family to this, brother? Nah, bro. I ain't gonna back to you, but you young. You young, too, bro. They been gangbanging since you was a kid. You was little, bro, on gang. So it's like, bro, when you get older, you probably gonna look at it different.
Whenever the ops die, look at us. Us, team, we are killing their ass.
They ass lying, talking about some incriminating themselves on interviews. Look, for we is killing the ops, for I don't get no is killing their ass, for. So tell them we is killing them, for that's what we doing to the ops, for. When they die, look at us, yes.
But when you say we, you're not saying that you personally want to be involved in anything like this, right?
We, team, whatever you want to call it.
He just trolling. He just trolling. I ain't gonna back to you. I ain't gonna back to you.
Just killing their ass.
Now, this is a crazy way to talk about what are, let's not forget, completely illegal activities happening in real life. To give you a sense of just how deadly Toss Gang's beef is, in June of this year, 2024, just weeks before recording this video, one of Von's best friends, Mook Money, was actually killed. Mook was shot and killed in West Chicago, and he was only 19 years old. And because that murder was so recent, there's actually very little detailed reporting on it. But according to Chicago police, Mook, real name Jarion Smith, was hit multiple times in the body by a currently unidentified gunman. His friends would then drive him to Stroger Hospital, dropping his body off outside the emergency room, leading some to believe that he may well have been killed in a drill gone wrong, and that the other passengers in the car couldn't have taken him inside of the hospital without possibly catching a charge themselves. But things would get worse for Toss Gang in June of 2024. Not even 2 weeks after Mook's death, another 13-year-old Toss Gang affiliated youth called Lil Mook was also shot in the head and killed.
The 13-year-old boy is dead after being shot on the city's west side, and police say that young teen standing on a sidewalk on South Independence near West 13th when he was shot in the head. Tonight, investigators still looking for that shooter.
Judging by his name, he could well have been a friend or relative of Money Mook, which is both heartbreaking considering both murders were just weeks apart, but even more tragic, Lil Mook was only 13 years old, and regardless of your family ties or affiliations, that's truly too young to be considered a fair target in the gang war. According to witnesses, Lil Mook was playing with fireworks on a sidewalk with his friends when 2 or 3 teens would walk up and open fire. Suspects in this case have been spotted on local surveillance, and the police would seek to identify 3 shooters. The suspects are all alleged to have been around the similar age to Lil Mook, which really shows you just how volatile the gang war in West Chicago really is. In the footage, the teens can be seen unmasked, walking nonchalantly and entering a local store, and just moments later, they allegedly murdered the 13-year-old in cold blood.
Dang, bro. No mask. And then you see they was ready. They was already ready. You see they was over here doing this with the fireworks. You see they was practicing, bro. Bro, this is why I try to stay away from these YNs, bro. Real deal. I see people that look like them. Instantly, let me go the other way. Let me hold my blick closer and go the other way, bro. I ain't gonna back to you. Real deal. I know why people be like, let me go the other way, okay? It's not even nothing. People would say, oh yeah, that's just going off an instant. Now, if they actually cool individuals, then so be it. I'm not finna try to figure out though.
Sadly, the 2 Mook's deaths weren't Von's only losses in this year, as in May 2024, just 1 month prior to those, Michael, another one of Von Off 1700's best friends, would also lose.
Now you whooping that talking about you won't even look them in the eye now. Nah, bro. Every time when I see a group of people, I always look at them, bro. To let them know I see y'all, bro. Cause I got my blick on me. You feel me? But I will have a blick out, bro. Only thing I know, bro, I ain't gonna say I won't get smoked, but I know one of them gonna get head tapped before I get head tapped. That's all I'm gonna say in that situation, bro. But I'm gonna leave before I even had to come to that situation, though.
Lose his life. But this one wasn't due to a murder, but allegedly, Michael actually overdosed on fake Percocets. And tragically, his death occurred around the same day as Von's birthday. Clearly, Toss Gang are really in the streets, living the tough life that comes with hailing from one of Chicago's worst areas. This year, 2024 alone, has seen the gang lose 3 members. No doubt, with this being an incredibly difficult time for Von Off 1700 and his friends, no matter how much success he's having in rap. But ultimately, these losses haven't stopped Von from calling out his ops at every occasion and talking very recklessly in interviews. Von clearly has no fear of acting wild on the internet, as in his interviews.
I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. Real deal, bro. With the YN stuff, honestly, bro, this how I take it as, bro. They tweak when they in packs because lots of them feel tough because they in packs, bro. But real deal, I don't really be around a packs of YNs, and if I do be around a pack of YNs, it's because I got a group of people with me. But when I see a YN like by themselves, bro, lots of them is actually very timid individuals, bro. You just whether they got a ski mask on or not, you just stare at them in their eyes, bro. Just look at them, bro. One YN got so intimidated, bro. One time, swear to God, on everything I love, he blick like, "What you trying to do? What you trying to do?" Gang, I got blick too. It's no need for that. You looking like you tough, I'm gonna look back at you, gang. What What the fuck? Like, come on, bro. There's no need for that. I got blick too. What? Yeah, you right though. I'm tweaking. Woo woo. I'm just trying to find someone to let me see their phone. Then bro gonna ask, can he see my phone to make a call because his phone off? Bro, get the no. Boy, you just try to do all that extra stuff. Like they very timid, sensitive, emotional people on game. Like real deal, bro. And that's on my granny grave. That's what happened, bro. Real deal, bro. Now when they be in packs, bro, they like to act a little bit more different and stuff. But when they by themselves, they're up blick. But if you got blick too, bro, boy, you could de-escalate the situation without having to come to it. Because I could have easily up blick, shot at him, he shot at me. Then what? We both would have been on the news. But de-escalation is key in those situations, bro.
He would wildly admit to apparent murders as he doesn't believe the evidence could be used against him in court.
If I sit right here and say, yeah, I killed yesterday, and then it so happened a news article got shot yesterday, what they gonna say I did?
Man,
is I said,
got the hair and the ponytail.
So I just killed yesterday, and 2 just died. So come lock me up.
Even going as far as to admit to being
sorry, I'm a guy.
I don't rap. I do a lot of other too. Like when money get involved with.
No, why would I say sorry? What blew me with the whole situation was he did this when we was in Walgreens. It was a car accident, literally, that was in front of Walgreens. 12 was all in front of Walgreens, literally. So he up and blick inside of Walgreens while 12 outside. You was just a goofy trying to look tough. It's no point. I already knew he wasn't going to blick. Because if you blick, bro, you was a goofy, bro. 12 is right there. And I got my blick too, so I'm going to blick at you too on gang. So I'm going to blick at you, 12 going to blick at you. You just, come on, bro. It's just, they just be trying to, they just too emotional, gang.
With stuff like that.
You're telling me you're an assassin?
No, I'm not telling you nothing.
Oh, okay, but you're kind of like hinting at it.
Yeah.
But killing Ops isn't just the only thing Von has been accused of or openly claims. Another notable event involving Von was when he was accused of stealing another Chicago rapper called Lil Zay Osama's car. Lil Zay Osama is a well-established Chicago artist with multiple hits such as F My Cousin with Lil Durk. He's got numerous songs with tens of millions of views. Now eventually, in a No Jumper interview, Adam22 would outright ask Von off 1700 if he was the person to steal the car, with Von replying that he personally didn't take the car, but one of his friends did, which is where the confusion arose.
Okay, so you stole Lil Zay Osama's car? No, you specifically, or somebody that you know did it?
Somebody I be with stole his shit. Somebody I be with stole his.
Okay.
Von would say that his friends used to always be stealing cars as a sort of hustle, and that Lil Zay wasn't robbed because he was an op, but rather it was just an opportunity for them to steal a nice whip.
We used to be outside. We used to be stealing cars, and there's another who steal cars.
Okay.
And we used to be outside with them on some stealing shit. And then everybody just started putting us in the shit it was in. Like, if they steal a car, they steal a car.
Gang, y'all talking about to take his blick, bro. That's how you get blick down, bro. My whole thing is de-escalation, gang. I'm not even trying to get to the point to where anyone got to use a blick, you feel me? It's just letting them know, like, bro, everybody got a blick. It's no need to be doing all that stuff, bro. Like, real deal. De-escalation will last you a long way, you feel me? Like, real deal, it's not even about, boy, I know I'll blick down any one of these dudes, bro. The only way they blicking me down is if they catch me lacking by backdooring me or got a whole bunch of people with Dracos. I know I will blick down any one of y'all favorite rappers, gang. One-on-one, 1v1, I will blick down any one of y'all favorite rappers, gang. But off of that, I don't got to prove that to nobody. So I would just rather de-escalate the situation rather than it having to get to that point, you feel me? Because, you know, I actually go to the range. These people can't shoot for real. They can't shoot for real. On game. I go to the range on game. And this binary with a quick finger gonna be pretty fast if you ask me.
But they said, they tried to say it, but everybody know they did that. We ain't odd naming on that. I don't know why somebody put that as a YouTube channel. I seen that.
It was a situation going viral, like Bando KD and Lil Zay, and it was saying like they took his car or something. But like I heard like y'all might have had that first or something like that.
Oh no, bro. No, we took one of my car one of our off con. I don't know what his dumb ass thought. He parked that. His people stay in the hood, you know. He parked in front of his people crib. We just ran through the hood, you know what I'm saying? My dad, we ran through the hood. We see that. We take that. We look up. 2-3 weeks later, my homie girlfriend and his You know, they in cahoots and be weird, but word got back like, oh, they got this con. They call us, oh, man, that's my car. South gang riding in that. Yeah, we'll come kill you out your car. My dead homie, free through.
With this brash and fearless personality, in an age of Chicago drill, where the biggest rappers and personalities are the ones with the realest street stories to tell, it's no surprise then that with this wild background, Von Off 1700 had the potential for a successful rap career. And once he picked up a microphone, it wouldn't take much for him to go viral.
Now, Von be going cool with the rapping.
Von Off 1700 has had a keen interest in rapping ever since high school. As he explains in his interview with 16 Shot 'em, Von was influenced by his older brother, who he saw rapping at a young age.
Playing on rapping and I've been playing with that like when I was like in high school. My brother was rapping before me. I used to see him rapping, so I wanted to rap with him, but he ain't never really let me rap with him. So I really started taking that on him in like 2020 by myself, 2019.
His brother raps under the name SBG Brick, and the two collaborated on music. But it seems that Brick was sent to prison soon after their first attempts at rapping. Ultimately, Von Off 1700 himself would begin rapping seriously in 2020. But it wasn't until last year, in 2023, when he really began to see some success with songs like Free Brick, released on the 29th of November 2023. Free Brick included all of the key elements for a hit drill song, including dissing dead ops and self-incrimination. The content of this song actually led to Von's own mother to disapprove of his music due to all of the dissing that he was doing.
My first song, I wasn't really rapping. I was just dissing people. Like, I was just dissing people. And then my mama real known in the city, and so everybody was calling her phone like, oh, your son just said this in his song, and and she thought the whole world was trying to kill me. So it was like, she ain't really never liked me rapping. But now,
that be the truth with lots of these Chicago rappers. I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. They be going viral just because they just be dissing a whole bunch of people. And when they diss a whole bunch of people, guess what? People just gonna, cause listen, let's be real, bro. That 51 Ops by Driller, that song was trash. That song was trash. Doo-doo garbage. But since he dissed 51 Ops in the song, it went viral. Just because he did 51 ops in the song, bro. It's crazy the power of what dissing the ops get you.
She on the train, though.
But regardless of his mother's disapproval, Von was seeing massive success, and Free Brick was garnering millions of views, nowadays seeing around 3.5 million views. One unique factor in Von's music is the unusual, very memorable beats that he chooses. These aren't your average drill instrumentals. Von's beat selection is much more similar to the hypnotic Houston DJ Screw type beats, maybe with a slightly faster tempo. On the 6th of January 2024, Von would keep up his momentum, releasing the new banger On Deck, featuring another very unique but addictive beat that resonated with his new fanbase. Von would begin the song shouting out SBG Brick, saying free my brother, then describe shooting his ops in the neck, chasing them down, and finishing the job. Then, dissing the ops, claiming one had just died and his gang didn't care about him as they didn't post him. Going as far as to claim that 4 shooters killed the op and that Von doesn't discriminate by age. Even if his op's 2 years old, he'll celebrate their death. Now, by this point in January 2024, Von Off 17...
But nah, that's not like a good example, bro, because it's like, brother, why would you be beefing with a 2-year-old, bro?
1700 was gaining some real traction in the scene and becoming the next big star in Chicago drill. But one question was on everyone's mind. Was Von Off 1700 really living the life he was rapping about? But based on his seemingly innocent looks and shining spectacles, as well as recent posts from his main op, Mob, as well as skeptics in the Reddit community suggesting that there may well be cap in Von's raps. But soon, one particular incident from summer would come to light, changing everything, setting the Reddit community of online detectives on fire and sparking a rumor that Von Off 1700 may just be the real deal.
Yeah, Twitch began on that gas station incident.
On July the 26th, 2023, Anton Benoit entered the Shell gas station on the corner of East 86th Street and South State Street in Chatham. At around 4:10 p.m., he approached Pump 1 to fill up his car, when suddenly, a black Dodge Durango pulled up in front of Anton, with the driver and rear passenger exiting the vehicle and spraying their weapons in his direction. Both shooters were masked, with the driver shooting a pistol and the rear passenger shooting what appeared to be a mini Draco. To make matters worse, they would use their SUV to run over Anton as they exited the gas station. Anton Benoit was unsurprisingly later pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, when listening to...
Yeah, I already seen this story, and the person was wearing glasses and stuff. That's why they think it was Von. I was like, do y'all think it was Von, gang?
The police scanner audio, it was reported that around 21 rounds were fired at Anton.
633 units in 6 and citywide. We're getting multiple shots. Spotter 8653 South State. 8653 South State. We're getting 21 rounds, high capacity on the street. Nothing further. Zone 8, District 6 clear.
Not the shoe.
Can you start rolling on that shot?
Ooh, who that officer?
We're getting tickets, person shots. Stand by on that.
622 Bonafide. We're at the Shell gas station. 613. We got rifle rounds over here. 662 boys. So it's a gray Dodge Challenger. At first they run him over at pump 1. They drag him over and then they shoot at him and flee east on 87. I don't have a DOB yet. So you look about roughly about 25 years of age. Extremely critical at this time.
Which can even be seen in the massive amounts of evidence markers that were left at the scene. This attack was caught on camera from several angles and shared extensively on Reddit's Chicago drill community Chiracology.
Chicago police have released new surveillance video of these 3 suspects. Watch that car there that's moving. This is a July homicide in the Chatham neighborhood. This happened near 86th and State on July 26th. So you see the 3 people there. They get out of that Dodge Durango, that all-black car.
See, that's the one thing I'll be worried about. They be moving in packs. And that's how people be getting blicked down for real. It's not nobody being scared of one individual. Ain't nobody scared of one individual. It's 3 of y'all hopping out the car with Dracos and switches. Man, 1v1. 1v1. I ain't losing no 1v1. But they hopping out 3 against 1. They doing whole squads against one person, bro. That's crazy, gang. How can people win that? That's why you gotta have the switch. They be like, what's the point of having the switch? Because they like to hop out in squads. That's why.
Car. They shoot the victim, a 31-year-old man by the name of Anton Benoit. He was just standing in the parking lot of the Shell station, and then after they shot him, they ran over him with
Talking
the
about
car.
gotta have the RPG.
As they were trying to get away from the scene, that victim sadly died from his injuries.
Liz and Karen, the victim is 31.
Bro, Serge, bro, that's the most scariest thing you just said, bro. Talking about one individual could catch a hat, bro. Duh. I'm not one individual that's gonna catch that hat, bro, if y'all keep on, bro. Duh. I'm not worried about one individual, bro. As long as I got my blick, bro, I'm not worried about one individual, bro. On game. They get me, that's some backdoor grimy stuff, bro. As a man, bro, you should not be worried about not one individual. On game, bro. Don't listen to all this. Whatever they be saying, bro, as a man, you should not be worried about, especially nobody you don't know. If you don't know any of these rappers, gang, you should not one of these people should ever strike fear in y'all heart. You don't even know if this stuff's true or not, gang. Real deal, don't tell me, man, none of y'all. If you do, that's on you. But don't come at me because I ain't scared of none of these rappers. That's a thing that you and your parents got to talk about on why you scared of someone you don't know. But don't get to coming at me because I ain't scared of none of these rappers, man.
1-year-old Anton Benoit. He is from Chatham. He grew up in a very close family. He is one of 7 children. Family members say they hope that the surveillance video released today by police will help catch Benoit's killers. A small memorial left by Anton Benoit's family
moving in squads, bro.
Outside the Shell gas station where the 31-year-old was killed a few days ago.
Cautious, no, that basically, bro, that's a difference, bro. I'm cautious. That's why I literally said I don't go certain places and I'm moving. So that's being cautious. But you talking about how one individual could do something to you, that sounds scary, bro. That's called being scary, gang. Because everybody know that already. You feel me? Being cautious is you just know how to move right.
Surveillance video from several different angles captures Benoit's brazen killers getting out of their black Dodge Durango and opening fire.
I know somebody know who somebody is, and I mean, if we knew something, we'll say something, and we love everybody, so just try to help my brother.
Benoit's relatives who did not want their faces shown are asking for the public's help in finding the men who killed Anton at the Shell on the corner of 86th and South State. He apparently was pulled up at pump number 1 when the men opened fire around 4:10 on a Wednesday afternoon.
He loved helping people, he loved laughing, he loved smiling.
Family members say Benoit was excited to begin a new job at FedEx after spending a few years in and out of prison.
He looked forward to building his own family. He looked forward to changing his life around. He was changing his life around. He was doing a really good job.
A viewing will be held for Anton Benoit tomorrow, followed by a
I don't know about that,
Wednesday.
Ghost.
Police say if you recognize the shooters in that surveillance video or have any information about the crime, to please contact Area 2 detectives.
Family members of Benoit claimed that he loved helping people and that he was looking to begin a new
Like the
job
pack
and
in the
change his
picture.
life after being in and
What
out of
pack?
jail recently. Now, an attack this brutal and seemingly targeted surely would not have been random. Clearly, the shooters wanted Anton dead. Later, it was claimed on Chiracology that Anton Benoit was in fact affiliated with a gang set called Bashtown and went by the name Ant. Now, Von of 1700 was not initially being tied to this murder, maybe due to the fact that it occurred in a completely different side of the city, around 30 minutes drive from Von's hood. But in 2024, fans began to notice some clues that Von had been posting around, possibly on purpose. The first sign was on Von's social media, where he posted a picture wearing an identical fit to one of the shooters that was seen in the surveillance footage at the murder of Ant. Von
You see, now this will make me think that they either just slow or they clout chasing. I don't know which one it is at this point. Is he slow or he clout chasing, bro? Because it's like, why would you do this? If you actually did this, why would you do this? Or you just trying to clout chase out the situation? Which one is it, bro? It's only one or two options at this point, bro. Clout chasing or he just slow.
Von could be seen wearing what appeared to be the very same shiesty mask, black hoodie, and torn jeans. But what's worse is the shooter also appeared to be wearing glasses, just like Von, which arguably is pretty unusual in Chicago. But he didn't stop at just posting with the same fit that was worn on the drill, because in an interview on No Jumper, Von also made some pretty self-incriminating comments, where he specifically told Adam his gang was killing the ops. When Adam tried to get him to clarify that Von didn't mean himself personally, Von replied that he meant it. We, team.
I don't get no killing their ass for. So tell them we is killing them for. That's what we doing to the ops for. When they die, look at us, yes.
But when you say we, you're not saying that you personally want to be involved in anything like this, right?
We, team, whatever you want to call it, we is killing their ass, man. If any of you gonna get me locked up, let me know now, because I'm going to trial as soon as they say, yeah, we got this evidence from this interview. If y'all don't get y'all dumbass on.
In the same interview, Von also eerily said that he used to steal Dodge Durangos, but he doesn't get in those anymore.
And the cars we be stealing, is some of the cars I don't even get in no more. Like RT Durangos, I don't get in them cars no more.
Okay.
An interesting comment when you consider that a Dodge Durango was the exact vehicle that was identified as having been used in the murder of Anton.
Man, the Reddit detectives is working overtime, bro. I ain't going back to you, bro. What would Trap Reezy do about Reddit detectives, bro? He wouldn't be able to make content if Reddit detectives didn't do their job.
Benoit, a very specific detail to mention, almost as if he wanted people to speculate.
You gonna say it's AI?
Was he self-stitching or false claiming? Still, Von didn't stop there, as he would hint towards this theory in his music too. On the 23rd of April 2024, he would release his new hit, Flame Out, where Von raps about murdering on camera and watching the footage back like an adult movie. And then, more specifically, he mentions catching an op trying to get gas and bouncing out blasting. Then, he takes it a step further, leaving nothing to the imagination, putting it on God that he committed the murder. In addition, on the track SOB, Von also...
I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Lots of these rappers, bro, they do be trying to put out an image, bro. Like, even if you really doing that stuff, why is you trying to put this out there, bro, to the world so you could go to jail, bro? Like, real deal, bro. Y'all be doing too much to live up to this image, bro. And then y'all be crying when y'all be locked up, like, oh, why they got me locked up? Bro, you just had an interview saying, we did it. Like, gang, and then you made rap songs in the same outfit, post pictures, all that.
Also seemingly mentions the murder, where he refers to sliding south, possibly a reference to them traveling to the other side of the city to do the drill.
Yeah.
Then he mentions using a Draco and a 45, which was seemingly matching the descriptions of the gun seen on camera being used by the shooters. All of this seemed to be a less than subtle reference to Anton's death. But while a lot of that does seem quite convincing, many are still saying that Von is not really the killer, inferring that he may well actually be trying to claim a body that isn't his just for clout. For example, this Redditor, who believes Von and Ant could never have even known each other, would also doubt the authenticity of the theory regarding Von's outfit, which seemingly matched the outfit in the surveillance footage. Now, the main doubt is due to the fact that the murder happened pretty far away from Von's enemies' hoods, and Ant seemingly had no ties to their rivals either. Also, Z Money, a Chicago rapper affiliated with Same Gang, recently appeared on No Jumper and cleared up the rumors that Von had been spreading about him. He would question Von's street credibility the whole interview and called him a liar.
Name him. He told me he won't agents out. Scrags, you ain't never. You ain't got no money still with the fame you got. You ain't. Like, literally.
How you feel about his music? Because his music going up, though. Like,
man,
you can't respect the music, though?
I can't even respect the Goofy. I don't
I ain't gonna back to you, bro. I don't know who Birdie is, bro, but from what Vaughn was posting, it do look like he got more money than you. But I don't know, bro. I just don't know you.
I don't even know his music. I don't know him. Yeah. I told you this. I don't even know him. Like me, my morals, and him couldn't even hang around me. You know what I'm saying? Acting like he doing this and doing this, like he couldn't even hang around me, gang. And it's like flogging. Like I got real young, real live hurt people. Like for real. Like no funny shit. And it's like he a fairy tale, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he get up and oh yeah, I just killed this. Like you so stupid. You was really like that. That's a real case, you dumbass little boy. You know what I'm saying? You even know.
Nah, that's why I don't be like taking like the rapper serious, cause it's like, bro, why would you do that, gang? Like you gonna be in jail, bro, or you just gotta be that slow.
Nigga talk on these interviews and be trying to seem cool. You really a dummy. You know what I'm saying? You really showing your true colors.
An interesting comment appeared on a Reddit repost of that interview, which agrees that if you're really killing people and going on interviews bragging about it, either you're dumb or a liar, but both options are proof of stupidity. Now this may explain why Von off 1700 has been so reckless when discussing the murder, as he knows that in reality he had nothing to do with it other than sharing the outfit and wearing glasses just like the shooter in the murder. Now Von may be using this pure coincidence just to increase his savage reputation and make it appear as if he's a killer, causing fans of drill music to really believe his raps, boosting his rap career in the process. Now Von off 1700 may be more calculated than the average listener gives him credit for, but interestingly, he openly admits that he doesn't take any drugs or intoxicants.
And I don't do no drugs or none of that. So I be on alert and on point. So
that's
like,
dope.
I'm cool. So everybody like in the party, everybody be getting high, drunk. I be walking around with like 10 phones. I got everybody phone, everybody everything. So it's like it's don't.
So you don't drink, you don't smoke pills, anything?
No, I used to drink lean, but after when I got locked up, I fell back out there. But sometimes I still like bro them come around, I get.
So you still be getting fried sometimes. I ain't gonna bap to you. I thought you was completely. You said you do, motherfucker. Yeah, it'd be better if you would have said, "Oh yeah, I flame up every here and there." You talking about you pouring a line? Oh, what? You still be getting fried, gang?
Get off the drink. I get off the drink, but I don't really. Yeah. That shit be putting me to sleep. So I don't.
Yeah, I've never been high before. Like
That's
I've never
bad.
smoked weed before.
That's
Are you the same way?
gang.
Yeah, I never smoked weed before. Never.
You
Now,
know
the
about
gas
we
station
GD?
incident
You
would
did
really
it?
just be a formula
You
for him
did
getting
it?
some success in the rap industry and creating some buzz around his name. As to this day, Von shows multiple clues in his video that possibly indicate his role in murder, like this shot in the track Flame Out, where he points two pistols at a dead body, indicating that he did the murder, or filming his latest music video Beat Up the Road at a Shell gas station, and again referencing a murder on camera in the lyrics. Clearly the location choice for this video was intentional as a nod towards a rumored gas station hit. However, surely if Von really did kill Ant that day, he wouldn't be so heavily referencing his part in the murder. Well, what fans perhaps didn't realize is that these lyrics may actually be referencing a completely different murder with some insanely coincidental similar details.
Ah, plot twist. Plot twist. Man, I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. Trap Breezy, bro. You done it again with the police work, bro. What do you gotta say this time to tell the world that Von off 1700 really catching bodies?
As it turns out, another man named Anton was also murdered in 2023, with this Anton allegedly being affiliated to Tosgang's rivals, Same Gang. He was also killed in a gas station by two shooters, with this murder taking place in Chicago's west side in the Austin neighborhood, which is exactly where Von off 1700 is from. Anton Juan Smith was killed on March the 17th, 2023 at 8:45 p.m. on the 300 block of South Cicero Avenue at the local gas station. Anton Juan Smith was killed in his driver's seat when two shooters approached his car and opened fire. He was shot in the chest and later died at Stroger Hospital. Both cases have a striking resemblance to each other, but one was way more publicized than the other, with surveillance footage being released to the public. Allegedly, Anton Juan Smith was actually a member of Same Gang, and maybe Von off 1700 was referring to the murder of Anton Juan Smith rather than the murder of Anton Benoit this whole time, with Reddit actually getting the crime wrong. In this picture, Anton Juan Smith can actually be seen at that very same gas station, and on the track Flame Out, Von off 1700 raps, "We left him at Thornton's," which is located right near Cicero Avenue where this murder took place. He also
Trap Breezy. The police need your help. The police probably be watching all the Trap Breezy videos like, hold up. Let me look into that. Let me see if there's a little bit truth to that.
raps about killing the op inside of his car, which differs from the July murder of Anton Benoit, but matches the second off-camera murder that I just identified. And eerily, this Anton looks much more similar to the man in the picture that Vonoff 1700 is pointing his gun at in the music video. Now, this is all speculation, and nothing can be proved with the evidence provided, but regardless, all of this controversy and the recent stream of hit songs he's been releasing has made Vonoff 1700 one of the hottest prospects in drill music right now. He recently signed a deal to the highly reputable label Sony Music.
Like, my first deal was some decent. My first deal was a distribution deal. I don't know like what's the difference, but I got a distribution deal as my first deal. My decent, like the advance was decent and everything. It's just I just ain't take that.
And Von has continued the motion following his deal on the 23rd of April, dropping his first full-length project, Through My Hood, F Your Hood. And judging by the view counts on his various songs, interviews, and his Instagram like counters, he's clearly on his way to success in the rap industry. But the question remains, is there a murder charge waiting around the corner, ready to derail his music career just as it got going? Or is Vonoff 1700 really just falsely claiming murders that he had nothing to do with, just to get ahead in the modern-day gangster reality show of drill music? If it's the latter, then perhaps Vonoff 1700 is much smarter than we're giving him credit for. If the former, then he really is a dummy, ready to crash out. But clearly right now, Vonoff 1700 is much more focused on his music career than killing his ops, real or otherwise. Because he's been making smart moves, networking in the industry, and focusing on the music. He's linked up with rap heavyweights like Polo G, Sexy Red, and G Herbo.
Chicago Bull versus Chicago. For you out here looking like a scat player.
He said, "Look at his body."
Counting if you've been trained by sharpshooter.
The comments be
we already
rolling,
heard. No,
the
hell
live
no,
stream comment.
hell no.
And at the end of his new track, SOB, he even teased a new song with...
Oh, okay. So basically, yeah, saying all the stuff that he did. Yeah, I ain't going back to you, bro. Vonoff 1700, bro. Man, only time will tell how he be talking, bro. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before the truth will be set free on game. That's all I can say in those type of situations, bro. Especially with all these Reddit detectives going around, bro. But we don't condone nothing in this educational, informational documentary. And if you watch this all the way through, I know you messing with another educational, informational documentary. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, so you never miss out on any educational, informational documentaries like this. And don't forget to follow the Twitch, Also Everest. Link will be in the description, so you never miss out on any live streams like this on game. What is that even emoji that you put, gang? Real deal. Everybody been hearing about EBK J-Bo, but lots of people don't really know about EBK J-Bo. He really messed up the bag, real deal. He had the concert with NBA YoungBoy, and guess what? He's back in jail. He's back in jail once again. He just got out of jail too. That's the crazy part about it. So now we finna figure out what's his story, what's his reasoning behind all the crashing out he be doing.
J-Bo is by far the most talked about name coming out of Northern California. He's basically pioneering a new genre, combining drill with the Cali style of rap. He has the story, the talent, the image, and the charisma to be a major star, but he's addicted to the crash out lifestyle and can't stay free for more than a couple of months. Where he's at in his career looks like NBA YoungBoy in 2016 and 2017. On the verge of becoming huge, but constantly sabotaging himself by holding on to the street life. So in this video, we'll break down J-Bo's crazy story of how he got to where he is today and what his future may look like. J-Bo was born and raised in Stockton, California. This city doesn't come to mind for most people when they think about California the way others like Compton or Oakland do, but in California, it's known for being one of the roughest places to grow up. J-Bo came up right in the middle of that, born and raised in the Southeast. Life was...
You see, this why I couldn't show the video on YouTube. They showing too many blicks up in here already, bro. But like, I ain't gonna bap to you. J-Bo is really the only reason why I'm listening to California music. I'm not even finna lie to you. I don't listen to no California artists outside of J-Bo.
Wasn't easy, but it wasn't hopeless either. His mom held it down. He always had a roof over his head, but that doesn't mean he didn't see his fair share of struggle growing up. When J-Bo was a kid, he played football. His pops used to make him suit up, even though he hated it. His grandpa and all his uncles were also into sports, so football was something he was pretty much pushed into. But deep down, it wasn't for him. He hated running, he hated the drills, and it just wasn't his lane. For the first 10 years of his life, J-Bo had a normal childhood. But then in 2015, at just 11 years old, J-Bo's world shifted when his pops passed away. There's rumors about a situation where J-Bo was robbed by some older kids.
So that's the first sign why he crashing out. He lost his pops. He probably would have been less of a crash out. But I heard that his pops was in the streets. So you feel me? He probably would have crashed out.
Teenagers, leading to J-Bo's dad going to confront the teenagers about it and losing his life in the process. This is internet speculation, and J-Bo has denied these rumors. Regardless of what the situation was over, this situation was a turning point in J-Bo's life. He went from being a kid with the pops to a teenager navigating the streets. That loss was like a fast forward button. After that, everything started to change. According to him, the event itself didn't immediately push him off the deep end into the streets, but that pain made him move different. He started thinking more militant. His pops being gone meant he had to watch everything closer and move smarter. After his dad passed, the streets started calling. Football was done, and school was just something to get through. J-Bo would find himself spending more and more time on the block, taking risks, and dealing with the consequences. This would result in him spending the majority of his teen years in and out of juvenile. And unfortunately, even as an adult, the pattern would continue, with J-Bo spending more time in cells than anywhere else. His first taste of jail came young. At 13, he stole a car and was caught. By 14, it was burglary. That time, he dipped in a car, took the cops on a high speed, but ended up pulling over. Juvenile hall was just a part of the lifestyle now. J-Bo was from a neighborhood located on a street called Nightingale, and he and his homies would begin claiming this street, referring to their gang as 2100 Nightingale. They also began using it in their lingo, referring to each other as Gales or G's. On top of being 2100 Nightingale, they used the name EBK as well because they had problems with a lot of other groups in Stockton. These problems would result in tons of bloodshed as J-Bo got older and the beef in the streets continued to escalate. Despite the street life creeping in, music was never far from his story. Early on, when his pops was still alive, he had put J-Bo in the studio young and even had a friend write his first song. Back then, J-Bo was trying to sing and experimenting with melodies, but as he got older, he realized that he really didn't have the voice for it. In his teenage years, J-Bo began experimenting with rap, making songs with some of his homies. By this time, J-Bo was heavy in the streets and had a lot to talk about and put in his music. People recognized that he had talent and just needed a little push to reach his full potential. That push came from his older homie, Killer G, who saw what J-Bo and the rest of the EBK crew could be. He believed in them, put up money, paid for studio time, and got them on platforms like Rap Shack. Early songs like Don Dada, Sweet Lady, and Best Friend started bubbling, and J-Bo began recording seriously. What started as studio sessions, just hanging out with the homies, turned into a full-on movement. A lot of J-Bo's homies rapped as well. Slow B, Young Jock, Lebo, Pig, Max, and Play were all friends of J-Bo who also made music and came up with them. But J-Bo, Slow B, and Young Jock were the main rappers of the group. Music took off fast.
What do you mean, brother?
Within 8 months of dropping his first serious tracks, J-Bo was a name in his city. He was a mini celebrity in his school because everybody was bumping his music. Despite having motion with his music, J-Bo was still moving recklessly, and at 15, things escalated. He was involved in a shooting that resulted in an attempted murder charge and a 2-year sentence. But still, even while locked up, J-Bo wasn't thinking about rap as a career.
That's crazy.
He knew he had a buzz, but it wasn't anything crazy enough to make him think that he could make a living off of it. But even after getting locked up for that incident, J-Bo's music didn't cool off. If anything, it added to the story around him, boosting his reputation. More and more people in and around the city were finding out about his music, and the streets kept his name hot. When he got out, he dropped Step the Hardest, and it went crazy, becoming his biggest song up to that point. But just as his fame was hitting a new level, J-Bo was booked again. When he spoke about it in an interview, he revealed that the case stemmed from him associating with the wrong people and getting told on. This 2021 case got J-Bo a 22-month sentence. During that bid, he lost his homie and fellow EBK rapper, Young Slowby, which was a big loss for him and his section.
Oh, I don't.
On a positive note, his first son
know who that
born
is
while he was serving his bid. Once again, while locked up, his career continued to grow, with more people finding out about the story and tuning into the music, allowing him to come back stronger than ever when he was released.
Twitch ain't allowing you to say
that. He
that.
Wouldn't even make it 2 months before he was arrested again and had to serve 6 months for possession of a firearm. After this bid, J-Bo came home and immediately got to work on a project, dropping his album.
What's the word, brother?
He would manage to stay free for a couple of months, just long enough to record new music and shoot videos. Around this time, J-Bo began embracing a new
the
sound.
Hispanics be having. I know a Hispanic that has that.
Violent than regular California rap, leading some people to call it California drill. Despite locking in on the music, in early 2024, J-Bo would find himself back behind bars on another gun case.
How did he keep on getting out of jail, bro?
J-Bo lost 2 of his closest homies, Osama and Mando, who J-Bo referred to as his brothers. His team kept his career rolling, dropping songs throughout the bid, including his album The Reaper in August of 2024. In February of 2025, J-Bo returned home once again, bigger than ever, immediately dropping The Biggest G and quickly racking up
gaming like that, except for Madden.
Despite reaching new levels with his music, J-Bo still refused to let go of his old habits. He came home dissing more than he ever had in his music and shooting vlogs in his hood, showing guns on camera. In March, he was arrested for firearms and controlled substances, but he was released and continued dropping bangers and watching all of his songs rack up millions of views on YouTube. He also began making big moves to progress his career. He appeared on popular Twitch streamer Blackboy Max's Song Wars competition, and then did an In the Booth stream as well, where he recorded 2 songs live. He also announced that he would be going.
Now he got some decent beats on here, bro.
But despite all these big moves for his career, J-Bo was still unable to stay out of trouble, and in late May, he was arrested in Arkansas on the same controlled substance and firearm.
Bro, why is Brody getting? Bro? Why is you getting locked up in Arkansas? Like, bro, you just doing stuff. You been getting locked up your whole life, bro. When will it click inside your head, gang? His head gotta be a perk. His brain gotta be a perk. That's the only explanation at this point.
Charges that got him jammed up in March, and this arrest resulted in him being removed from the tour. This brings us to the present day. Despite not being able to stay free for a year straight in the last 6 years, J-Bo is bigger than ever. The fans are behind him, and he has everything he needs for success. The talent, the story, the push from the label. The only thing in his way is himself. So we'll just have to stay.
Yeah, bro, the only way he gonna go up, bro, is if he changes his ways. And J-Bo, I don't think he changing his ways, bro. Real deal. I don't think he gonna change his ways. I don't think he wanna change his ways. And when someone don't wanna change their ways, bro, they ain't gonna change their ways. Real deal, bro. We don't condone nothing. It's educational, informational documentary. But if you watch this all the way through, I know you messing with another educational, informational documentary. And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. What? Turn on post notifications so you never miss out on any educational, informational documentaries like this. And don't forget to follow the Twitch, Also Everest. Link will be in the description, so you never miss on any live streams like this on game. Where am I from? Chicago. Over East, 90th and Commercial on game. But I really stayed more places over East, but where I was like, grew up for like a majority of my life was over on 90th and Commercial. They saying bro paid for a hat. Who? You talking about J-Bo? Oh, his op. Talking about sing a song. Why would I sing a song, gang? Do it look like I sang, bro? I don't know. I give off the impression that I be singing, gang. I don't be singing. I ain't gonna bap to you. Don't be singing. Someone named Ryan. Okay. A Bruno Mars fan. Oh, what the fuck you mean, gang? Talking about a Bruno Mars fan, bro. Nigga. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Just because I got my hair not in my face, bro. Just because I don't got my hair in my face. Or these bitches. I take them out. Then I ain't gonna look like a Bruno Mars fan no more. Now I don't look like a Bruno Mars fan no more. Listening to Bruno Mars. I just wanna lay in my bed. He the one that made that song. Bruno Mars. Why is it different? Because I ended up getting suspended. I did a reaction to whoever requested that Netherlands video. I got a suspension, so now only I show the full screen up on YouTube. You feel me? Y'all will only be able to like hear what's going on because on live stream they be tripping, and I'm not trying to get suspended. Because next time it's gonna be a longer suspension. But yeah, but I'm able to do requests and stuff now without, you feel me, worrying about that. Hell no. That shit was too. Hell no. Yeah, no, I ain't post that shit. Certain topics, bro, I don't post on certain topics. Like that shit was too. I don't speak on that community. Anyone who got that type of shit going on, I don't even get involved with that type of shit on game. Real deal. That's what I done. I just turned that video off, gang. Hell no, I ain't posting that shit. I ain't gonna back to you. I don't be posting that shit on my page, on game. I don't post that type of stuff on my page. Real deal. I ain't post them niggas either. About that dude, Big Rat or whatever his name was. Boy, I ain't post that shit either. I don't be doing that shit. The Liverpool family. I'll do like 20 minutes of it. This shit long as hell. Yo. Liverpool up in the UK, right? Y'all be asking this because I got that thing. Hell no, I ain't go to that shit. I ain't gonna back to you. Hell no. I just decided to put that tag. I put that tag like once the streaming university was over with, I seen the tag was still motherfucking up. I just been like, fuck it. Let me just put the tag up in that bit on game. You said Liverpool, UK. On game. Alright. Dang. They'll sell out for going. Why you getting on that with them, Serge? get a bottle of water. Talking about being freaky for views, that's diabolical.
Subscribe for more content.
Alright, there we go. So, as an American, we don't know anything that y'all got going on in the UK. We don't even think y'all be getting active in the streets. And today we finna learn about Liverpool. Now, anything that I do know about the UK is from London, not Liverpool. So this gonna be a whole crazy story for me, you feel me? Their name is the G Brothers. So I'm assuming they gangsters, that's why they G.
Today we take a look at one of the most dangerous criminal families to ever exist in the UK criminal underworld, especially in the Everton area. A family that became so notorious that police were forced to create a specialist team in order to try and take back control of the streets in which the gang had taken over. The G family were a very notorious crime family that grew up on the dangerous Grisdale estate, which can be found in Everton. Darren and Daniel G were very well known on the estate and part of the larger family, which included their other siblings Billy, Ian and Stephen G. In particular,
I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. When you hear it's a whole family out here doing diabolical stuff, you know they official in the streets. That's called a mafia, a crime family. Because most mafias be like crime families. I ain't gonna bap to you. Those are the ones that be the most dangerous.
out of all the brothers, Daniel and Darren G had both become involved in very serious crime at an early age. The brothers made it clear that they wanted to make their mark in the Grisdale estate. In many previous interviews, Darren has explained how the brothers had nothing but a poor experience in the education system. And because of this bad experience, he had been left with no choice but to leave school at the age of 13. By the time the brothers were young adults, Darren explained that most of the G family did not have the necessary qualifications or skills that were required to get a decent job, especially one that would support them on the estate. Just a few miles to the north of the city centre, Everton's Grisdale estate had been turned into an extremely dangerous drugs market by the brothers in a quest to make money and gain control. The brothers and their extensive criminal activities left the police with no choice but to task an independent team with the job of taking down the G organisation. Ordinary families who wanted no part in crime had no choice but to look the other way as crimes were committed on a daily basis. And once the G family realised that the local residents had lost all faith in police, it only got worse. The brothers now terrorised anyone who stood in their way, on their conquest to turn the residential estate of Grisdale into an area that was exempt from the rule of law. The Grisdale estate was home and stomping grounds for the G brothers. The crime family enjoyed their status as gang leaders, and it's mostly agreed that the crime gang that polluted Grisdale was led by Darren and Daniel G, who both had no trouble using extreme violence and intimidation tactics to dominate the back streets and alleyways in the North Liverpool estate. The brothers were always associated with very serious violence and had also made a lot of money drug dealing. The leading members of the G family understood the game and became employers as well as enforcers to people who resided on the estate. The G brothers had surrounded themselves with many people that they had grown up with and knew they could trust. The brothers and their criminal gang had reportedly used the profits that they had made from selling drugs in the local community to buy more loyalty, protection and better security. It was also
I ain't gonna back to you. The more people you get involved, the more likely, guess what? Someone gonna snitch on you.
Reported that the G brothers paid children to be on the street corner rather than go to school. These young foot soldiers were paid large sums of money to give more incentive to be willing to participate in the criminal activities of the gang. The brothers created an extensive criminal network in and around Grisdale estate, one that became so big that many reported it was a common sight to see mums and dads selling drugs around the clock. The worst thing about this was mums and dads would have the kids with them as they tried to sell as much crack and heroin as they possibly could. At the brothers' height in the
I mean, that really be normal, bro. What you think be going on in the hood, bro? What you think? Come on, that's what most kids inside the hood see their parents do. They see their parents trapping and stuff. You feel me?
Drugs game. It was reported that the G's were earning at a very minimum around £20,000 a week from their extensive criminal activities in and around Everton. The police and the local residents all knew that the brothers were running a 24-hour Class A drugs business, and one that was based in the heart of the Grisdale estate. The brothers and their gang would go on to operate around-the-clock drug sales with pay-as-you-go mobile phones being used to take orders, then dispatching outriders on mountain bikes to deliver the product to the customer. Younger kids, who were not yet ready in the eyes of the gang for handling the drugs and large amounts of cash, would instead be offered a chance to be employed for £50 a week to act as lookouts to spot police and rival gang members. It must have been unimaginably difficult for locals who just wanted to live a law-abiding lifestyle and did not want any involvement in the G's criminal enterprises. They, in essence, all had become outsiders on their own estate, and the locals were forced to confront the many inherent risks and dangers of living next to some of the country's most dangerous criminals. A survey conducted on behalf of the police had shown that the fear of violence being committed stood at 80% among the law-abiding community on the Grisdale estate. As well as their ability to inflict extreme violence without hesitation, it is also...
I ain't gonna bap. I would not trust Brody. It looked like he need to be inside the crazy place where the crazy people be going, bro. I would not trust him.
Also been suggested that the G family had also been able to flourish in such a way because of a peculiar situation that allowed them to thrive in the Grisdale estate. Many people describe the Grisdale estate as a place that's removed from the rest of the world. Many presumed that there was another much more organised and higher powered criminal organisation behind the G crime family. This theory was especially believed by the police and detectives, who were working in the G case. To them it seemed the brothers appeared to be the public front of what was a very violent and extremely sadistic regime. It was clear that the Gs appeared to relish that notoriety that the criminal exploits had earned them, amongst the local community especially, and they liked to be in the thick of the action whenever it occurred. Tit-for-tat shootings became commonplace around the estate, and it was made very clear that nobody was allowed to stand in the way of the brothers' profitable money-making rackets.
Dang, so they out here catching hats just to, you see, that's how y'all whole organization gonna go down, you feel me? They'll probably leave you alone if you just making money and the community love you, but if the community don't like you, you out here catching hats, you gonna speed up the time for you to get arrested. They started a whole gang war in Liverpool.
In 2003, there were simmering tensions between the G brothers and a rival faction of drug dealers who were also in operation in the area. But by 2004, the fallout had resulted in a wave of shootouts across the north of Liverpool. On the first day of January 2004, there was a double shooting in the Royal Oak pub in West Derby. One man died from the shooting and another was left fighting for his life. Relations between another local drug boss named William Moore and the G's criminal family had deteriorated at a rapid rate. On the evening of the 6th of April 2004, the G's returned to the Grisdale estate after attending a funeral in Speke. The brothers and the two friends were driving along Robson Street when Darren's younger brother spotted a suspicious car on the street. They stopped the car and reversed to see who was inside. However, upon doing so, they were met by former SAS officer Darren Waterhouse. Mr. Waterhouse was a hitman, and he was hired by the opposing crime boss to take out the rival gang or any of its members.
Bro, he's a hitman. It looked like he got like a police hat on. Don't tell me the hitman is the police.
Upon seeing his intended target, Mr. Waterhouse began shooting. He riddled the Ford Galaxy with bullets. However, the intended target, Darren, had just switched seats with his friend Craig Barker, who was only 18 at the time. And to make matters worse, the group was driving a new car they had just brought recently. As this car was a different model to the Galaxy they were used to driving, the group was still getting used to using the new clutch. And as the shooting began, in a rush to escape the shootout, the car was stalled and unfortunately...
Bro. You see, this is why I can't be inside no manual car, bro. Real deal, bro. You mess up while trying to change gears, bro. You cook. You cook. I'm happy, bro, that I don't drive no... But back in the day, it was more common for people to drive manual cars. Like, back in the day, you had to know how to drive a manual and stuff, you feel me?
Mr. Barker was left in point-blank range of the gunfire. He was consequently hit with many bullets from the hitman. After the shooting had taken place, upon realizing that he had shot the wrong target, Mr. Waterhouse made his exit. Darren tried to take Mr. Barker to hospital in the car that had just been shot up, but a bullet had been lodged into the gearbox of the car, and because of this, the car was now stuck in second gear. Unable to drive the car above second gear, Darren pulled the car over and stopped another car passing by. The woman who was driving the car pulled over, but was met by Darren covered in blood, screaming at her to open the car door. She was so scared that she refused to let him in. Darren had no choice but to smash the car window.
Man, well, she's tweaking, bro. I would have got to moving away. You see someone coming up to your car all bloody and stuff, bro. If you're not finna let them in, you just need to keep going. There ain't no reason you stop.
and steal the car so that he could rush his friend to the hospital. But unfortunately, Mr. Barker died of his injuries. Ian G, who was driving the vehicle at the time, suffered life-changing injuries. Mark Richardson, another associate of the G's, suffered a minor wound and managed to escape. Darren G, according to intelligence, was thought to have been Mr. Waterhouse's intended target for the shooting, but after unknowingly changing seats with his friend, was very luckily not hurt. Darren recounts that the whole incident is something that will never leave his thoughts, as his best friend Mr. Barker was fatally shot in a case of mistaken identity right in front of him. He even recounted that the bullets were clearly meant for him, as they immediately stopped shooting once they realised they had hit the wrong person.
Dang. That's why you shouldn't be hanging around that crowd of people. If you know the people you're around really in the streets, be prepared to get blicked down like you in the streets just like them, even if you don't got nothing to do with it. That's what comes with hanging around those type of people.
The gunman, Mr. Waterhouse, used to serve with the Coldstream Guards and was honoured for his highly commendable actions by way of a military cross, and also presented with a Radar People of the Year award. Darren Waterhouse was convicted in 2005 for the murder of Craig Barker and sentenced to 30 years in prison. Darren has always professed his innocence to the crime and still does to this day. The courts found Mr. Waterhouse guilty of being involved in the shooting of Craig Barker. Mr. Waterhouse had admitted he had associates from that area, associates that he had met whilst in prison previously while serving time on a drugs charge. For one reason and another, Mr. Waterhouse became involved in the drug culture, having left the army. While serving his prison sentence, he met his co-defendant, William Moore. Mr. Waterhouse and Mr. Moore became very good friends, and had even associated outside of the prison environment. William had a brother called John, who had explained to me...
I ain't gonna baptize. I mean, it's looking kind of decent with these pictures, though. It look like it's like ancient historical land.
Mr. Waterhouse that there appeared to be some discontent with a notorious family that was competing for control of the drugs market, the G's in Liverpool. On the night Mr. Barker was killed, Mr. Waterhouse had agreed to attend Liverpool to see William. He travelled up in his own car using his own mobile phone to keep in contact with William and taking his dog with him. The prosecution alleges that Mr. Waterhouse attended Liverpool as a contract killer, and that Darren G was the intended victim.
Shorty forehead big.
The shooting occurred on Robson Street on the Grisdale estate in Everton on April 6, 2004. Craig was in a car with 3 of his friends, Darren G, Ian G, and Mark Richardson. The driver of the car was usually Darren G, the one who missed.
Dang, so you said London is south compared to Liverpool. Hey, would y'all agree with this? You see, I don't even know. We don't even got too many London people up in here right now to defend themselves.
Moores was having trouble with. Darren G has just got in the back of the car as he was playing with a new computer game that he had just installed, so Craig was now the driver. The group were driving around the Everton area when a man jumped out of a car and opened fire on the Galaxy they were sitting in. Shots were fired all over the car in what was described as an uncontrolled manner. Craig was shot several times as he scrambled around in the car in an attempt to escape. 2 passengers received no injuries, and one, Ian G, received injuries to his leg and thigh. The gunman left the scene in his car, which was later discovered burnt out. The police attended the scene, and all parties refused to cooperate with the police. Later that evening, Craig died from his injuries. Later on, further statements were obtained from the other occupants of the car. Darren G had described the gunman as having red or ginger hair and looking like a male wearing an alpine hat. Mr. Waterhouse was arrested in Luton at his home address. Whilst at the police station, Mr. Waterhouse was asked to cooperate in an identification parade, to which he consented. The identification suite was new at Luton police station, and Mr. Waterhouse had been arrested with no clothing on his upper body. It was a hot summer's day at the time, and the police ID suite at the time did not have any clothing to offer Mr. Waterhouse to wear, but the officer investigating the crime had a spare t-shirt that he had brought to work with him that day. The t-shirt was taken to and worn by Mr. Waterhouse on the ID parade. It was a video parade. The t-shirt was navy coloured, and the other volunteers in the parade were specifically selected around this, as well as a few with navy coloured t-shirts to blend in with the t-shirt Mr. Waterhouse had been given to wear. By the time the video had made its way up to Liverpool, the volunteers had been changed by the inspector as he found them not to be suitable, and the volunteers who were wearing a navy t-shirt had now been removed.
Like Boston.
The video was thereafter shown to 3 occupants of the car, who had now changed their minds and decided to cooperate with the police about the shooting. Ian picked out Mr. Waterhouse from the video parade, albeit in his statement he said, "I didn't see him fire or what was firing because I ducked down straight away, and I can only recall both were white males, and that's it really. I don't recall any clothing, ages or sizes, it all happened too fast and my head was down in my lap area." The others did not make an identification.
He said, "Man, I was trying to save my life."
12 feet from the junction, phoned the police and gave a description of the gunman as wearing a balaclava hat, cricket style, and coveralls and gloves on. Mr. Waterhouse was charged with the murder, along with William and John Moore. During the trial, it emerged that Craig's mother had given the police a list of several names that she believed were responsible for killing her son, and all the names on this list have since been shot and killed. There was also another male who was ginger-haired from the area, and someone who had a fractured relationship with the G's. This same male had secured his alibi as
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like if the parents know they people's in the streets, they shouldn't snitch, because you ain't gonna snitch on your own peoples. You won't want no one to snitch on your peoples.
he was in an off-license around the time of the shooting, where his girlfriend worked, and he secured the CCTV footage from the shop and lodged it with his solicitors before he had even been arrested or questioned. Mr. Waterhouse suggested to the court that that is slightly strange behaviour for someone who has nothing to do with the crime. Mr. Waterhouse accepted that he was in Liverpool that night, but on the basis that he was not there to shoot or kill anyone. During his trial, an ex-soldier who served with Mr. Waterhouse attended the trial to give character references. The ex-soldier was now a serving police officer and stated to the court that Mr. Waterhouse was an expert in using firearms. In his personal opinion, an uncontrolled shooting of this nature was not in Mr. Waterhouse's style, or in fact, for that matter, how the pair had been trained to shoot by the special forces. All military personnel had been taught to execute a double tap when shooting to kill in the army. A double tap is when 2 shots are fired to the chest and 2 shots are fired to the head, and the ex-soldier wanted to make clear that the court, in a way without sounding like boasting too much, that Mr. Waterhouse was way too much of a professional and had too much expertise to shoot in such a haphazard way. However, regardless of this statement, Darren Waterhouse and William Moore were both convicted by the jury and sentenced to serve.
Bro, he thought saying, "Oh yeah, bro, we pop people differently, but it's gonna help you." No, bro. No, that's not helping your case.
30 years in prison each. The CPS proceeded to have another trial with William's brother, John Moore, who then decided to change his plea to guilty on the basis that he knew harm was going to be caused to an individual, but not harm which would result in death. Some years after the conviction, Mr. Waterhouse claims Darren G sent him a Christmas card, and inside the card was allegedly a note from Darren stating that his brother had been able to pick Mr. Waterhouse out on the ID parade as the police had told him what t-shirt Mr. Waterhouse was wearing in the picture. A statement was taken from Darren G by the solicitor representing Mr. Waterhouse regarding this incident. Mr. Waterhouse also claims that during the disclosure of the trial, the CPS refused to disclose the 999 call that was made during the shooting. The judge said it did not assist the defense or undermine the prosecution case enough to be used in court. It was alleged that Mark Richardson had phoned 999.
Folks look bogus as hell. I ain't gonna bap to you, bro. I know he don't get no females, gang.
99 when the car was under attack.
That haircut diabolical.
Specific questions that the operator asked, especially in particular to descriptions of suspects that are attacking. Based on this new evidence, an application was made to the Court of Appeal, the COA, on behalf of Mr. Waterhouse, who considered that this new evidence from Darren G should be enough evidence to warrant a retrial. However, the Court of Appeal dismissed the application, stating that Darren G was not a credible witness and could not be believed. An argument was presented by John Cooper, QC, acting on behalf of Mr. Waterhouse, that the 999 call that was made during the attack was highly relevant.
Bro, every time they say 999, I think about Juice WRLD, bro. But that's how they call the police in the UK. Y'all calling Juice WRLD in the UK.
In light of this new indication for an appeal. The courts of appeal refused to see any reference under the new evidence and did not agree the 999 calls that were made under extreme duress should be disclosed. Darren Waterhouse argues that if the 999 call does not undermine the prosecution or assist the defense, then why is it that this recording has not been disclosed? The solicitors who work for Mr. Waterhouse stated that in most cases the 999 transcripts are served, especially during such a high-profile trial. Darren Waterhouse is adamant the 999 tape recording will prove his innocence. Mr. Waterhouse believes this is a complete miscarriage of justice. His defense is that he is a highly trained soldier who, according to the prosecution's case, could not carry out a contract killing on the right victim, used his own car and phone, and had to spray a car with 9 bullets from 3 feet away. The very same man was awarded the Military Cross for bravery and leadership and served 14 years, most of which he was an instructor in weapons tactics. He also served on covert ops for the SAS. The prosecution suggested that Mr. Waterhouse received money for the killing, but stated there was no evidence that funds had ever come from William Moore. Mr. Waterhouse explained that he did have money around him at the time, but that was from cultivating cannabis. The police said that the crop he was currently growing when arrested had not come to its fruition, and served an account statement from the electricity company which showed money had been put on the electricity meter from November 17, 2003 to January 22, 2004 in the sum of £210. After the court case, his defence team managed to obtain a full electricity statement which showed that £1,650 worth of electricity had been used from July 2004 and a full crop of cannabis had been grown by this stage, contrary to what the police/prosecution suggested. However, regardless of Darren Waterhouse's complaints, he remains in jail to this day for the contract murder of Craig Barker. In 2005, William Moore, who was 45 at the time, and Darren Waterhouse, who was 39 at the time, were both jailed for life for the Craig Barker murder after a trial at Liverpool Crown Court.
Oh dang. David Reagan. Then they got
the
Reagan.
2004 summer shooting was the explosive climax of a North Liverpool drugs war that rocked the area. David Reagan, who was 36 at the time, was blasted 3 times in the back and legs at the car wash that he owned on Prescott Road, Old Swat.
That's crazy. They said folks got blasted, bro. That's crazy to say happened to someone, bro.
On May 18, 2004. Mr. Reagan was thought to have been shot after he was wrongly blamed for the murder of Craig Barker, and also what Darren G believed was in fact an attempt on his own life, one that had gone wrong during a North Liverpool drug war. Darren said he plotted the murder after being wrongly told that Mr. Reagan was behind the attack on him. Darren also explains that when he was given this information about Mr. Reagan, he was not in the right frame of mind and that those around him did not pull him to the side and tell him to think about what he was doing, but instead encouraged him to take revenge. Darren G was arrested for the crime and admitted to his part in the murder and was placed on remand to await sentencing. Darren was originally facing a recommended minimum of 35 years under the current sentencing guidelines, as his legal team seen his crime as borderline contract killing. Whilst on remand and awaiting sentence, Darren had accepted in his mind.
That's crazy. 35 years for bro. The UK, they low key almost as bad as Canada with not giving out the sentences like they supposed to. Or maybe America just give out too much time.
That a sentence of 30 to 35 years was on the horizon, and he had prepared himself mentally to spend the rest of his life in jail. However, on the day of sentencing, something that nobody was expecting happened. When Darren appeared before the court for sentencing, the judge told him that as his crimes were committed pre-2004, Mr. G would now be sentenced under the old law. And because of this, it now gave the judge 2 choices. A discretionary life sentence if the judge felt Darren would continue to be violent or had a history of violence which was increasing. A sentence where he would not be released until parole approved him being released. Or a fixed long-term determinate sentence. This could be imposed if the judge felt Darren could in fact change if given a second chance to start his life, where he would be given a release date. The judge looked at Darren's criminal record and upon seeing there was only one previous charge of violence, this was for threatening to blow up a prison officer's car, but as this threat was never actually carried out, the judge ultimately decided to give Darren another chance, and so Darren G was sentenced to 18 years in prison after being found guilty of conspiracy to murder at Manchester Crown Court in 2006. During Darren G's years in prison, he has described how he has seen and was many times part of more criminal activities, and has even told the story of how he was caught having a sexual relationship with a nurse whilst incarcerated. Darren G claims a nurse who was working at the prison, Jane Jackson, was caught topless in a private treating room with himself at HMP Woodhill in Milton Keynes. The Category A prison, which was
I ain't going back, bro. It's getting busy. I would have been on the same type of time too. Let me try to get no noise. I say I have a problem every single day just to be in the nurse office.
Dubbed Britain's Alcatraz, houses some of the country's most dangerous criminals, including rapists, murderers, and terrorists. Miss Jackson had jammed a mop under the door of the treatment room and stripped off in front of the inmate Mr. G. The Nursing and Midwifery Council panel had ruled that a nurse had in fact had an inappropriate and highly sexually motivated relationship with a prisoner whilst at work. Miss Jackson's fitness to practice was found to be impaired because of the misconduct she had taken part in, and she was struck off because of the incident. Paul Morris, who was chairing the hearing, said, "It was quite clear that Miss Jackson had not provided a high standard of practice at all times whilst working, and had acted without any integrity or had respect to uphold the reputation of the profession, especially of those who work with vulnerable people." The hearing found that Miss Jackson had failed to establish and maintain professional boundaries with the prisoner that she was meant to be providing care for, and also found that Miss Jackson was in breach of her obligations as a nurse, which when mounted together amounted to Miss Jackson taking part in very serious professional misconduct. Her flagrant disregard of policy seriously undermines the risk of security, and not only to herself and colleagues who she works with, but the security of the entire prison and its population. Her misconduct carried an unwarranted amount of risk of harm, and brought the whole medical profession, especially those who work within the prison system, into major disrepute. It was reported that Miss Jackson was caught out on February 7, 2009, when a prison guard, Rebecca Langley, had burst into the treatment room during her fling with Mr. G. Her top half was naked as she was holding her bra and staff tunic in her hand, said Barry Dooley for the NMC. A sobbing Miss Jackson was taken straight to the prison governor's office and suspended for her actions before being marched off the premises. Miss Jackson admitted to breaking strict regulations by being alone with a prisoner, and also further breaking the regulations by taking off her clothes. But Miss Jackson had claimed it was a one-off, and she said that she had been pressured into the act by the inmate, and only committed the misconduct as she was fearing for her life. Miss Jackson told how Mr. G had said, "Let me into the treatment room," and he's had this horrible look on his face. She said, "I just froze and panicked and then very stupidly opened the door." She added during the hearing that she opened the door like a robot, adding that the prisoner had the remote control of my body. "At least that's how I felt." HMP Wood Hill is one of the country's maximum security.
I already knew she was going to try to play that role. Oh yeah, they controlled me, they did this, they did that. I already knew that she was going to hit that script. Even if she wanted to do it, she's still going to hit that script.
Prisons, housing inmates that have committed some of the most serious crimes. But Mr. Dooley, who was in charge of overseeing the hearing, stated, "If Miss Jackson was so scared and feared for her life in the way she described, then why would she open a locked door and go in with a prisoner simply based on just a scary look? She did not."
On game. Let's start there, shorty. You is inside a prison right now. Let's not forget you inside a prison right now. Bro, you could easily, if you felt scared, be like have another CO come with you while transporting them, all types of stuff, bro. On gang, if you were scared, you would just have extra people with you. You doing this solo dolo for a reason, sweetheart. We could see through the game already. And you trying to, you see guys how these women would do y'all? They'll let y'all get some play, and then things get bad. They try to flip it like you the bad guy when they was giving you the play.
Not call out for help at any stage, although she knew that there were prison officers nearby. She even admitted to another member of staff she had put the mop across the door for extra privacy. Miss Jackson had previously said to another officer that she had strong feelings for the prisoner. "I knew deep down that I was a professional and he was a prisoner." It was also suggested that Miss Jackson just threw her keys to the prison doors on a chair during her time with the prisoner, putting the entire security of the jail at risk, the hearing was told. Being in a confined space with a prisoner means that you have potentially put at risk the entire establishment, said Hannah Pugliese, a senior manager with Milton Keynes Primary Care Trust, which provides medical care at the jail. "You could have been held hostage, you could be at very serious risk, especially in that particular environment," she says.
Crazy.
Miss Jackson had already confessed to breaching strict security by smuggling a Lynx deodorant and Radox shower gel into the jail for the prisoner in January 2009.
Dang, bro. They just wanted deodorant and some hair gel. That's all.
"Stupidly, I bought toiletries in just to shut them up," Miss Jackson said. "I knew it was absolutely wrong, but I still did it." The contraband items were found in his cell following Miss Jackson's suspension, adding weight to the NMC's case that Miss Jackson had not just had a momentary fling with a random prisoner, but that it was in fact much more serious and a sexual relationship with one particular prisoner. Mr. G worked in the prison laundry along the corridor from Miss Jackson's office and would regularly chat to the nurse on his way back to the cells. Miss Jackson also denied that the 2 drug cabinets that were located in her treatment room were left open during her encounter with the prisoner, a claim that was later rejected by the panel. Miss Jackson was fired by the Health Trust on July 9, 2009, following a lengthy and in-depth internal investigation.
Okay, we're gonna end it at that, and we're gonna do part 2 tomorrow. You feel me? We don't condone nothing in this educational, informational documentary. But if you watch this all the way through, I know you messing with another video, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, so you never, ever, ever miss out on any educational, informational documentaries like this. And don't forget to follow the Twitch, Also Everest. Link will be in the description. In the description, my brothers on gang. He said, Philly. That'd be crazy. That's like that shit is evil, cuz. She said that's just evil. That's that UK shit, boy. That's how they get in the treacherous streets, nigga. They get treacherous out there, bro. Real deal in the UK. They pop out and they do you wrong. They grab you. You don't want to get grabbed in the UK. Okay, you don't want to get grabbed. Real deal, it's scary. Just take a hat and slab it. But I don't think you understand the magnitude of what's going on inside the UK. You're not understanding the magnitude of the situation, brother. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The UK, pray. They pop out. Just take the hat. You talking about what, music-wise, and what you asking, am I playing music? You're talking about the UK people. I'm trying to figure out a way. How can I make the screen? Oh. Music, you grew up on American music. Shady. Yo, my boy General, what's the word with it? What's the word with it, my boy General? What's the word with it? How did I see one look on the screen? Oh, that shit was in the house. Oh, that is supposed to go out to eat. You going out to eat and shit. Okay. I'm shady. Shady. Twitch view botting. Let me see, because I'm on Twitch right now. Let me see something about this view botting shit, man. Let me see if we gotta go view bot real now.
If you've been a part of the streaming community in any
just fucking around, we ain't finna go view bot. We real niggas, bro. Real niggas don't view bot. Real niggas don't view bot. That's all I'ma tell y'all, bro. So this video, even if it say we need to view bot, we ain't gonna view bot, bro. On game. You listen to Eminem. Eminem one of the most greatest rappers to ever fucking live, nigga. Eminem is one of the most greatest rappers ever, nigga. I'm green. Don't feel bad if you're not getting a lot of views while streaming, because lots of people is view botting, and it's a very big problem in the Twitch community. If you don't believe me, just watch this video with me. If you click off this video, you a goofy, bro. You's a goofy if you click off.
If you've been a part of the streaming community in any capacity, there's a chance you've heard the word viewbotting. Viewbotting, a tactic used since the early days of streaming, involves artificially inflating a streamer's view count by adding fake viewers to boost visibility on platforms like Twitch, which we'll mainly talk about in this video. This practice helps streamers appear more popular and rank higher in their streaming category, making it easier for others to discover their content. Despite its potential benefits, viewbotting is a violation of Twitch's terms of service and can lead to a suspension or banning, and it's looked down on for obvious reasons. Nevertheless, many streamers continue to use this method without getting caught. But many do get caught, like the streamer by the name of Queen Gloria RP, who will go viral in March for accidentally showing the app she uses to viewbot, and after realizing her mistake, quickly restarts her stream in embarrassment.
I will be right back, guys. I'll just
Nah, don't you, sweetheart. You out here view botting. You see? Don't feel bad. I'm proud of my 6 people on game. I don't got a view bot.
come back in a sec. Are you guys still here? Internet went out. No, I needed to do a little, my OBS was asking me to reset something, and I needed to stop streaming.
Someone in the comments said, imagine having boobs and still having to viewbot, which is crazy, but he's not.
I ain't gonna bab to you. That is pretty wild, bro. That is pretty wild. I'm like, man, how you a female and you got a view bot? That's crazy, because females got it 100 million, 50 times easier than dudes when it comes to streaming. Dudes be needing females to get views in their streams. Let's start there.
Not lying. Women basically live life on easy mode, and some folks are just down bad. Some internet detective pointed out how her ear got so red from her nervousness, which is a pretty good catch, I'm not gonna lie. Soon after, Gloria would get banned on Twitch, responding in a video saying this was her first and only time viewbotting, but the comments weren't buying it.
You can see for yourself that I had never, ever botted any stream of mine. For those 2 years that I've been streaming, always been pretty legit. Quick research told me that actually botting wasn't that difficult. That tempted me. I managed to get caught the first time and only time I do it.
Now, within the past year or so, I would see clips and situations
talking about she got caught the first and only time she did it. Bro, no. Stop that bapping, shorty.
Here and there relating to the topic of viewbotting, but this specific situation led
Don't tell me Kai doing it
to see how viewbotting is affecting the current state of Twitch. There have been whispers through the years from streamers like Trainwreck TV, who even before becoming a partial owner of Kick, has hinted at a good percentage of Twitch being infested with viewbots.
In the top 100, at least 90 out of 100 are not only blatantly viewbotting, but we're talking massively viewbotting. because you can't tell at that point.
The number one botter is on Twitch. It's multiple people actually that are botting massively.
By massively, is this more than 20,000, 50,000?
I'd say minimum between 10 and 20,000 bots.
Now, I can't say for sure how credible.
Honestly, bro, I ain't gonna back to you. I feel like, bro, them view bots the reason why they don't get no real connection with their audience for real, bro, because all them fake comments steady flowing in back to back to back. You can't even read the comments of the real people.
The specific info is, especially coming from someone whose platform Kick is full of streamers who view bot. What I can say is, where there's smoke, there's fire. In April of this year, Twitch did a massive permanent ban wave of partner streamers, many of whom have not gotten their accounts back since. A streamer by the name of Big X had a few things to say about this, as he was informed about the reasoning for these bans from his manager.
Wait. So they packed those up for botting their views?
Not all of them. There's a couple more. There's a couple more that I sent to my manager. Affiliate gone, partner gone. Bro, you are scamming a company.
That's what I'm about to say, bro.
Amazon. Do you know who Twitch is back? You know who pays you? Amazon.
That same month, a popular streamer named Clicks revealed that he was approached by an anonymous Twitch viewbotting company to add viewbots to his stream, which he declined. The viewbot issue has gotten so bad that you have streamers beefing with each other and putting allegations on people for viewbotting. About a month or so ago, XQC accused up-and-coming streamers associated with Kai Cenat like Rakai and Reggie of viewbotting, basically pointing to the quote-unquote
dang, bro, this is like equivalent to being called a snitch inside the rap industry or something, bro. Being the person that viewbot.
Unusual rate that their viewers were chatting, aka active chatters, which is not really the best evidence to base an accusation on, and I'll get into why later.
They're all viewbotters. I don't give a fuck saying anybody these days. I'm not, bro. Imagine thinking that I'd play this racket where like I need those like collabs. I don't give a fuck. They're all viewbotters. I don't care to say it. From a 1K Andy to 20K Andy overnight. Like bro, I mean I've been here before. Like I'm not stupid.
Some people said that 60 to 100,000 people aren't tuning into a Reggie or Rakai stream, implying that they don't have that level of emotion. I don't keep up with these two consistently, nor do I have a horse in this race, but Rakai and Reggie are closely associated with the biggest streamer on Twitch, Kai Cenat, and even does collabs with him all the time. It's normal for viewership to spill over. Just look at Streamer University, for example. Some streamers who had viral clips most likely saw significant growth, like the one female streamer who went viral for being bullied by another streamer, and now she has built a following off of that, even collaborating with Agent Zero. Associating yourself with Kai leaves a lot of room for growth.
Yeah, bro, real deal, bro. Believe it or not, chat, believe it or not, bro, my Twitch was not getting no new people. Then I finally just add the tag Streamer University like a couple days ago, and I finally been getting new people inside my chat. The power of Kai Cenat is real, bro. I didn't believe in it at first, but it's true.
Growth. It's pretty simple. Another streamer who faced viewbotting allegations recently was DDG, who has been going on a crazy run lately that I covered in a video about a month ago. The streamer accusing him is Low Tier God, whose whole argument is that there is no way that DDG could have as many subs as Kai Cenat, the biggest streamer on the platform.
If you think that this nigga got 70,000 authentic subs, you're out of your f***ing mind. You don't just do this shit randomly. Bro, somebody find me a clip from 2 months ago. Where was the sub count at? Nobody grows that fast on Twitch.
Bro, you forgetting that DDG already got an audience and platform that watch him. That's the whole thing that you forgetting. You trying to compare someone that don't got no clout nowhere. They building their name up off of Twitch. That's how they building their name up. Whereas DDG built his name up on YouTube, and most of the people that's watching him is people that came over from his YouTube, bro. That's how his stuff is going up so fast. I ain't gonna back to you.
70,000. Kai averages 100,000. You gonna tell me this only what? Some thousands under Kai?
That's what I'm saying. He just
DDG responded, roasting him and denying the allegations.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't care enough to bot no views, brother. My real passion is music. I just come on this motherfucker. I have fun.
You gonna tell me this only what? Some thousands under Kai? Bro, this body.
You can't bot subs, you stupid. How can you bot subs? If that's the case, why the no?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, bro, botting subs, bro. The bots don't pay for subscriptions, bro. They just come in for views, bro. I was thinking they saying like followers and stuff, but yeah, the subscriptions, bro, they ain't paying for that.
Don't you do it? Cause this is bad. You got 26 subs the whole time, bro. Cause you need that. I didn't need it. I had 43,000 before I touched base in Japan. And you talking about Kai, bro? Kai gifted damn near 5,000 subs. Speed gifted 5,000 subs. These my homies you trying to compare me to, bro. It's not the same. No one knows you, brother. You ain't got enough money.
One, I don't believe DDG is view botting, and I'm not even a fan, so you can't pull that type of shit on me. Two, DDG had a 7-day streaming event collaborating with countless rappers and popular artists. Does this nigga live under a rock or something? There's no surefire way to detect if someone is view botting or not. You just have to analyze things like engagement on other platforms like Instagram and Twitter. I won't use TikTok because there's so many cases of followers/viewers on TikTok not translating to other platforms. You can have 1 million followers on there and next to nobody is
on game. Real deal. TikTok following don't mean nothing. Jack jiggity squat. Nothing. But I mean, you can get money off of it.
Keeping up with you anywhere else. Like Jack Doherty, who has been caught view botting on Twitch before.
Okay, Jack Doherty with the views. Look at robot views. Okay, let's see Stable Ronaldo. Oh. Whoa.
Bro had 7,000 viewers with a graveyard for a chat. You gonna tell me with a straight face that 7,000 people are sitting to watch a Jack Doherty stream in 2025, bro? Like, let's be real here. Another thing to look at is live chat engagement, like on polls, for example. Let's say a streamer has 1,000 viewers and only 100 or less of them are interacting with their poll. That could be a sign of someone view botting. A good example of a normal ratio of viewers interacting with the poll is iShowSpeed's poll from his YouTube stream from God knows when. As you can see, he has over 300,000 viewers, with 200,000 of them voting on a poll that started 1 minute ago. Speed is so well known even outside of the internet that view botting wouldn't even make much sense. Another method people are now using to detect if someone is view botting are extensions like Twitch Enhancer, which separate viewers into categories. This method is flawed because the left number is the number that Twitch uses without the extension, and the right number are people connected to the chat, meaning about 300 people aren't connected to the chat. And this is just an example. This doesn't mean that these viewers are 100% view bots. Either they have the stream open without the chat open, or they're waiting on a specific screen without being logged in. This specific screenshot seems like a normal ratio for viewers on Twitch, as if you have enough viewers, your stream will get pushed to all types of people. As for the future, I often ask myself, will this ever really stop? Despite letting users report a streamer for quote-unquote viewership tampering, I'm still reluctant to believe that Twitch will actually do anything significant. This is a good start, but not enough. Twitch may continue letting certain creators roam free based on the revenue/engagement they're bringing to the platform. Similar to how in the past, they let those hot tub streamers continue to operate on their platform despite it being against their TOS. Anyone remember this? Yeah, wild times. As long as you're making Twitch money, plus depending on who you are, they'll turn a blind eye to it. I don't want to keep citing Trainwrecks as a source, but he claims that the Twitch CEO Dan Clancy is completely aware of the site's view botting problem and warns that if Twitch doesn't do anything to stop it, there will be an industry-wide adpocalypse. Similar to what happened on YouTube around 2016-17, which led to a lot of policy changes on the platform, with creators getting paid significantly less from advertisers based on stricter guidelines when it comes to uploading content.
Of the English-speaking category, 90 out of 100 are view botting. 90 out of 100 on Twitch are view botting in the English-speaking category. The entire site is botted. It is insane. Twitch has a terrible view botting problem, and I know Dan Clancy is completely aware of it. Will Twitch, like Kick has done, become aware of the view botting problem, actually release programs that deter it? If not, if this continues, there will be an adpocalypse like there was for YouTube for Twitch.
I think this has a real chance of happening because if view botting has run so rampant on Kick, what makes you think they aren't on Twitch? I can keep giving you examples. Just ask anyone a part of the NBA 2K community.
Of course, everybody on Twitch buys bots. It's like $3 for like 100 views for an hour. You could even buy Kick views. You can buy Twitter likes, impressions. Like, bro. And he showed me proof. He's like, I'm about to buy this right now and do this to somebody's channel right now, because they could do it to somebody else's channel too. You just type the name of the channel that you want to buy, and you could buy people's bots. Like, it's actually insane.
As recently as May 1st, Twitch was taken over by view-botting trolls who targeted big streamers like Asmongold and Hassan, whose viewers sat at 120,000 and 130,000, but would quickly go back to normal around 36,000 and 54,000. View-botting is an issue in the streaming space as a whole, and until it gets better, it's gonna get worse. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna bap to you with that view bot and stuff, bro. People just gonna keep on view botting. They don't care, bro. It's all about the image and the glory for them. Them showing the world that they can have a whole bunch of viewers, even if they're not real viewers. You feel me? We don't condone nothing. This educational, informational documentary. Don't forget to follow the Twitch also Everest though. Link is in the description. Link is in the description. On game. Real deal. How y'all this in price coding always. 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 Yeah. UGD? 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 Okay, UGD? That's what I thought. I don't even know how y'all could do this page. The fuck is this page at though? Yo, what's the word, my brother? I might as well just do this shit. Okay, that's because I'm not on YouTube. That's because I'm not on YouTube with it. They be wanting me to be on the motherfucking horizontal screen and shit. But I can't even figure out a way to get both horizontal screens without motherfucking having them showing the same shit at the same time. I ain't gonna bap to you. Niggas don't fuck with the vertical shit. I ain't gonna bap to you. Okay. Nah, niggas haven't even been commenting on YouTube. Read it like the YouTube shit. You feel me? But that's because I haven't been showing no video or nothing on YouTube. It's literally just like the little black thing at the top and shit. Okay. Oh shit. Yeah, that's why. I'm gonna try to figure out a way, shit. But I don't even know how the fuck to get both. Shit, I'm gonna end the live and I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way. And I'm gonna hop back on. Alright, my brothers. Let's see what